Today I would like to discuss the do's and don'ts of self-deprecation, or the limits, maybe, of self-deprecation. Now, if you've gotten to know me at all, if you've watched my videos at all or read my work, you know that I'm a pretty self-deprecating kind of guy because I mean, how can I help but be, being me? But there are limits. There is a limit. There is a point at which you should really have a little bit more pride and not practice self-deprecation. There's a point at which self-deprecation really becomes, in a strange way, a sleazy kind of self-promotion. Sleazy and cheesy, both. And I'm thinking in particular of one instance that really brought this to my mind. It's something from a documentary called The Last Dance, which is a highly entertaining documentary about the reign of the Chicago Bulls in the 1990s. I don't think you have to be a sports fan or an NBA fan to enjoy it. There's a lot of very candid interviews with people like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and the rest of the gang. They're very open and honest, and so you sort of see a warts and all kind of thing. It's not like a Michael Jordan hero worship kind of thing. You see the good and the bad about him and about everybody else, and sort of the dynamics of the team and how they work together and so forth. It's interesting. There's one point at which, and I think, I don't know which of their many championship seasons this was, but there was one in which the final shot was made by Steve Kerr. Now, Steve Kerr was a good player, not a great player, but a good player, a solid point guard, and he, everybody. It was the last few seconds of the game. Either the score was tied or the Bulls were down by one. I can't remember, but the Bulls had possession, and everybody was expecting Jordan to get the ball, but instead it went to Steve Kerr. Jordan was a diversion, and Steve Kerr hit the shot in this clutch moment and won the game, won the championship, and he was the hero. Now, at the celebration afterwards, when they had the parade and different players gave speeches and stuff, Steve Kerr did this, what I guess a lot of people would find really likable thing, but I did not find it likable at all. He got up and he said something like, and I'm paraphrasing, "Well, now look, I'm on a team. Obviously, I'm the superstar of this team, and people like Michael Jordan, they don't really know how to handle these kinds of situations. So, I was, I'm happy to carry the team on my back and make that shot at the last minute, and so thanks." Obviously, he was being sarcastic. He was being self-deprecating. He was saying, "Oh, look at me, I'm just a loser. Well, obviously, Michael Jordan's the superstar, and I made this shot." And it was like, I mean, it had the very opposite effect on me than I think it had on a lot of people, because my mindset is, it's your moment. You legitimately came through in the clutch. You were the hero. Take the adulation, take credit for it. Don't just play it off and say, "Well, I'm not really a superstar. I'm nothing compared to Michael Jordan." It really bothered me. It really got under my skin. And when I thought about it, the reason was, it was, obviously there's a racial aspect to it. Steve Kerr is a white guy. And I think there's some learned thing that a lot of white guys have, where it's white athletes in particular, where they're especially in sports that are black dominated like basketball, where they're not supposed to, I don't know, where they're supposed to sort of see themselves as inferior and make a joke about being inferior. And I just didn't like it. I wouldn't have liked it, even without the racial aspect. Take the racial aspect out of it. I didn't like it. I wouldn't have liked it anyway. But definitely with that being a part of it, it just sort of struck me as really, again, it annoyed. It added another layer of annoyance to my response, because I knew most people would get fooled. Most people would say, "Oh, what a great guy! Look, he's making fun of himself. Oh, he can make fun of himself when he made the last shot of the game. That shows, he's a team player or whatever. I don't know. It shows he doesn't have a big ego. But again, you made the final shot. Just don't be a dick about it. Don't get an overinflated ego about it. But take the acclaim, take the praise. Say, yeah, I'm really happy to have been there, to have been in the right place at the right time and hit that shot, in a clutch moment. And I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life. And it was a great moment. It's been a great moment in my career. But somehow he had to play it off and be, the bitch boy. So I think what really irritated me more is it seemed like this, and I said before that by this act of self-deprecation, it was almost this act of self-promotion, because Steve Kerr, I get the feeling that he wanted to frame himself in a particular way, and Steve Kerr strikes me as like this this company guy, this corporate. I'm on board with what they're saying. Like I'm sure he's a coach now somewhere. I think I don't follow basketball that closely, but I'm pretty sure he's coaching some team somewhere. And I'm sure he like tweeted something like the beginning of June. This thank you to all the great LGBT people out there. Rainbow flag. Who are our great fans and blah blah blah, and we fully support tolerance and diversity. Blah blah blah. He's just the kind of guy who would say stuff like that, who would toe the company line, say all the nauseating stuff that shows him to be a lickspittle to the corporate company line. I'm sure he's also the kind of guy who'd say, now be sure to wear your masks, be sure to get your vax, be sure to get the vaccine. I'm willing to bet that he either tweeted or wrote one of those two things, or probably 80%. I'm 80% sure that he wrote both of those things somewhere in some form of social media. He's just that kind of guy, and it really annoys me. It's like there's this racial component to it again, where you have to abase yourself, and he's the whitest of white looking. There's white and there's white, and this guy's pretty white. He's blonde haired. I think he's probably of Irish descent. Ruddy cheeks. So contrast that with a guy like Tony Kukoc, just staying with the Chicago Bulls here for a second. Tony Kukoc, who is also white, but who is from Slovenia, I think, or Serbia or someplace like that. And he also made clutch shots and came through in clutch situations. Never seemed to feel the need to abase himself. Never seemed to, even though he was on the team with Michael Jordan, who was a superstar, and obviously he wasn't the kind of player that Michael Jordan was. That doesn't mean you have to go around saying, "Oh, well, I'm nobody because I'm not Michael Jordan." So I think that the lesson here is that, Tony Kukoc is in Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe is still, he's from Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe is still based. They still have pride in themselves. They haven't swallowed this Western white guilt nonsense. But Kerr seems to me to be the epitome of, the kind of guy who advances himself via self-deprecation and acts of abasement, like he displayed in that video. So I don't know. I just wanted to register that. It really stuck with me, or struck me. And I'll try to find the video of Kerr making this statement, and be interested to hear what anybody else thinks about it. So thanks for watching. My name's Andy Nowicki. You can check out my work at altrightnovelist.com.